Hello, everybody. My name is Lauren Brindon. I'm the Assistant Commissioner of the MIAA, and I'm very excited to be here today with Austin Becksvoort from Hope. Austin, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Austin Becksvoort. I am currently a junior at Hope College. I'm studying chemistry and chemical engineering, and I'm on the men's tennis team.
As a junior, you've had some time to compete within this conference. What is your favorite part about competing in the MIAA, and who would you say is your favorite rivalry?
I think it's hard to pick one rivalry. I mean, as far as schools go, it's hard to beat Hope and Calvin. I mean, any sporting event, no matter whether it's in Highland or in Grand Rapids, you got tons of students there cheering them on. Doesn't matter the sport. Um, we've had plenty of good matches with them, but specifically in tennis, we also have a pretty big rivalry with Kalamazoo. They've been sort of a powerhouse, at least in tennis, for as long as anyone can remember. But a lot of times, our Hope teams have had really good battles with them. But when it comes to just playing in the MIAA, it's such a blessing to be able to compete at a collegiate level. Um, and I have so many friends that go to other MIAA schools. It's really nice to be able to meet them on the court or and keep connected with them, even though we go to different schools. It's a great environment to play in.
What drew you to Division III specifically? What makes D3 special to you?
I think it's the balance that I can achieve in a D3 school between academics and athletics. Um, it's really hard to double major at bigger schools and much less play a sport at the same time. Just with the time commitments, it really ramps up as you go up in divisions. But I find that D3 schools are really intentional about making sure student athletes like myself have all the tools that we need to succeed both in the classroom and on the playing field. Um, and that was the biggest draw for me to be able to achieve multiple goals at once, both in the classroom and in my sport.
I'm sure you are extremely busy as a double major and with tennis, but what hobbies do you have outside of that?
Um, I mean, I enjoy spending as much time outside as possible. It's a little hard right now with the snow on the ground, but I enjoy this in the winter a lot of snow sports like skiing. In the summer, when the weather's nice, I like to bike, go to the beach. But this past year, actually, I had a little extra credit space, and I was able to take up the organ, which is a tremendous amount of fun, actually. It's just sort of one of those unique things that a lot of people never really consider doing, but I've had a lot of fun doing that. It's a great way to relax, to take my mind off school and the classroom for a while. Um, it's been a lot of fun to try that.
As a double major in chemistry and engineering, how do you manage to balance this on top of playing your sport and maybe having some sort of social life on top of that?
Mhm. It's a lot of time management, and I have to prioritize what I need to get done. So I try to work ahead as far as possible when it comes to homework and studying for tests. Usually, as soon as homework comes out, I try to at least get a head start on it. Because in the past, I've pulled all-nighters where I'm just grinding out homework to do the next day. There are some days that are tough, but I try and keep my schedule pretty organized, and that's so far it's worked pretty well. And then with sports, tennis in the spring, it's so busy, but um, my teammates and coaches are really supportive. They understand that if I have to miss practice because I have a class one day a week, they get it. They're really helpful in that aspect.
As a sophomore, you received a scholarship from the Barry M. Goldwater Scholarship and Excellence in Education Foundation, which is only awarded to 413 people nationwide. For those who aren't familiar with this scholarship, what is the criteria to be considered?
Mhm. So the Goldwater it's a merit-based scholarship for sophomores and juniors that are undergrads anywhere in the U.S. So each school gets to nominate four students, which is really special because it means that schools like Hope are on level pegging with schools like Stanford or MIT. Everyone gets four. The criteria, it's mostly research. So they look at research you've done as an undergraduate as well as your proposal for the future, letters of recommendation, things of that sort. And then they choose about 400 students based on what they've already shown they've done in research and also their plans for the future and the sort of potential to make a significant contribution to the scientific community. They tend to pick either people in natural sciences or in mathematics or in engineering. But it's a really good spread. It's a really great community to be a part of. It's really supportive.
What did this recognition mean to you?
Well, I was surprised when I got it at first, but it's really helpful in applying for graduate school, applying for internships. It's a great way to show that I have a lot of experience doing research, thinking critically and working, being able to work in my field at a relatively high level. But it's also, I have to mention this, Hope has such an amazing committee that helps students apply for not only Goldwater, but other scholarships. And they were just tremendously helpful in helping me work my way through this because it's a pretty involved application process. It takes a couple months. You have to write quite a few essays. But yeah, it's been very a lot of help.
Tell me a little bit about the research that you've had the opportunity to do at Hope.
Yeah, so I work in Dr. Christopher Turlington's lab, which is in chemistry, and we do a lot of work with metallopolymers. So polymers are these long chains of molecules, and you can attach different sorts of groups to them that account for a specific purpose. So, for example, if I wanted to create some sort of medicine, I could take a polymer backbone, put a group on them, maybe with a metal or something like that, and then I could test that, put it in the body, and it might be able to carry a drug to a certain location, or perhaps carry an electric current. So we do a lot of work in materials, exploring the applications of these long polymers with metal groups on them. But we do quite a bit of what's called total synthesis. So we start from basically the ground up, making these really big materials. And the past 2 summers, I've done some research at Hope in the Turlington lab, and we've been able to present our findings both with a poster and orally at some national conferences. So it's been a really great learning experience on what a career in research might look like in academia.
Going off of that, what are your career aspirations following graduation?
I think at this point, I'm looking to go and do some sort of grad school, either a master's or a doctorate. And currently, I'd actually kind of like to teach at the university level. So being able to work maybe at a D3 school like Hope, doing some research, but also doing a lot of teaching as my main sort of vocation. So that's been my primary target for a while now. But I'm also looking at perhaps finding a job in engineering for a few years, and then maybe going to grad school or working in industry as a chemist for either like pharmaceuticals or for some sort of manufacturer, something like that. So a lot of different options, but academia is probably my current target.
I like closing out each interview with a fun question. If you could play any other sport, you don't have to be talented at all right now, but if you could play any sport other than tennis, what would you play?
When I was growing up, I played a lot of baseball. I played Little League. I wasn't that great at the beginning, but when I was maybe in eighth grade, I started to pitch, and I really enjoyed that. I played it 1 year in high school. I didn't play it after that, but if I had a second chance, I would definitely go back and work more on my baseball game. I mean, I love the sport. I love watching it. But I think that would be my choice if I were to pick another sport to be in.
I love it. Well, Austin, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, and best of luck to you and your team the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been great talking.